Alright guys, today is a little video on sequencing transformations, and this follows directly from what we did the previous note packet on translations and reflections and rotations. When we say sequencing, all that means is to do more than one on the same shape. Alright, so really the math part of this next note packet is not very different. It's taking more than one problem and just rolling them into the same problem. So here's the first example. We have a triangle on a coordinate plane, and we have these two vectors here, and I've labeled this one vector 1 and this one vector 2 just to simply give us an order in which to use them. Alright, so first I'm going to write down the coordinates of each of the points for this triangle here. Let me get my pen working here. There we go. That's better. And I'm just going to make a little dot here and a little dot there and a little dot there, and I'm going to write down the coordinates. So if I start here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is to the left 4, so that's a -4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is the point 4, sorry, -4. Alright, we're going to make that a little better here. Let's undo that. And let's make my pen a little bigger. Alright, we're going to write that as a -4, 9. Alright, and this point right here is going to be -4, 4. And this point right here, 5, 6, 7, 8, that is the point -8, 4. Alright, so all I did is label the points here, and what I want to do is translate, and we've talked about that before, that's a slide. I want to translate this triangle according to this vector. Well, this is something a little different. We haven't done it with a vector on the coordinate plane before, but it really works the same way. If you remember when we did it with a vector without the coordinate plane, we put that piece of graph paper, or not the graph paper, sorry, the tracing paper over the top, and we slid this object according to that vector. Alright, well now we're on the coordinate plane, so we don't have to do that anymore. We can just count how many places that this vector is asking us to translate the object. Alright, so I'm going to start, we always start at the base of the vector right here with the non-arrow side. Alright, and first I'm going to count in my x direction. Well, which way is it going? Well, it's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the right. So if I use my notation from before, that would be a translation 6 to the right. And then how many am I going to go? I'm going to go down 2 to get to the end of that vector. So I'm going at a -2. Alright, so all I want to do is, and let's give this some points here. Let's call this one A, and this one B, and this one C. Alright, I'm going to slide each of these points according to this translation that I put over here. It just went by this vector. So I'm going to take each one of these, I'm going to go over 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and down 2. And just like we did last note packet, I'm going to label that A prime. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing with B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and down 2. Alright, and we're going to label that B prime. Okay, and the same thing with C. Over 4, 5, 6, and then down 2, and then that one's going to be labeled C prime. Okay, and I can connect the dots. Hopefully I can draw a pretty good straight line with my little tablet here. That one's not very good, but, and there's that triangle. Now you notice that it's a translation, so it did not change the size of that triangle, and it didn't change the shape of that triangle. Alright, so I'm going to label this one number 1 because it matches up with vector 1 over here. Okay? Now, the only thing different we're going to do is I'm going to change colors so it doesn't get as messy over here because I got a lot of blue going on. I'm going to change over to red, and now all I want to do is work off of that triangle that I just did. That's the image of the original triangle, and I'm going to follow this vector. Okay, and I'll even draw in. I'm going to go, actually I'm going to undo that, I'm going to go the other way first. I always want to go in my X direction first. So I'm going to start here on my vector, and I'm going to go over and down. Well, how many did I go over? I went over 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I went down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be a -5. So the second translation that I want to do, and I'll put this in red, is to the, and actually that's a -3, right, because I went to the left. I went to the left 3, and I went down 5. Okay, so here's the notation we used last note packet. Alright, so I'm kind of carrying that over. Okay, and so I do the same thing. I take this triangle that I just made, the image, and I take each point and I go to the left 3, 1, 2, 3, and down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And right there's my new C, and since I came off of C prime, this is C double prime. Alright, and I do the same thing for each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoops, I got 2 more. Too many. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goes right there, and that would be B double prime. Put another one on there, and then I've got to do the same thing with A. I go to the left 3 and down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be right there. So you're going to see it. It's going to be really important that you're neat. This is A, and that you label everything with primes and double primes and maybe even triple primes if we put 3 together. Okay? So first I started with this triangle here. I translated along this first vector. It brought me over to here. That's A prime, B prime, C prime. And then I did another translation off of that image to create another image according to this vector. And so that's A double prime, B double prime, and C double prime. And that's pretty straightforward. If you knew how to do translations before, then this shouldn't be a really big jump for you. Okay, it's simply putting two questions or problems together into one. Alright, so I'm going to take this one off, and I'm going to put the next one up here. And now instead of a triangle, we just have an angle down here. Alright, so this is example 2. Oops, I gotta fix my layer here. There we go. This is example 2, and I'm just gonna put dots at the ends and a point. I should say point, not dots. Alright, I'm gonna put points at the ends and at the vertex there. I'm just gonna label them. Looks like this one is 0, -2. Alright, looks like this one is -9, 1. I'm going to write that over here because that's going to get messy. Alright, and I'm going to call this one A, and I'm going to call this one B, and I'm going to call this one down here C, but let's see, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that is the point -5, -5, and I'm going to call that one point C. Alrighty. So again, I've got 2 translations to do. We've got a vector here, and we've got a vector here. And the first thing I want to do is figure out what is the first translation that I'm going to do. Alright. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is calculate or determine, what this vector is doing. So how many am I going in the X direction? Well, I'm just going to count. I'm starting down here at the base of the vector, and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that brings me to there. See, I'm lined up with the end of the arrow there. So all I did was count over 7, and it's to the right, so it's a positive 7. Alright, and then I keep going. I go up to the end of the arrow. I count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gets me up to the end of that arrow there. So I went to the right 7 and up 6. Okay, so I'm going to take each one of these points, and I'm going to go to the right 7 and up 6. Alright, so I'm going to do this one first. I start over here on the left with point B, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'm going to put a point right there. And since that was B, well, this is the image of B, which I label B prime. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing with all these others. I'm going to go down here to C and go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, and that is C prime. And I'm going to do the same thing with the last one here. That's going to be over 7 to the right. 6, 7, and then up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, and that is going to be A prime. And since it started as an angle, I'm going to connect the dots, and that is my new angle. Again, notice it's the same size, it's the same shape, but I have a second vector right here that I want to translate as well. So I'm going to put that one over here. That's going to be a translation. And let's figure out what we're going to do. I'm going to start here at the base, and I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3. Did I go too many? Oh, I did. I went too many. Okay, let's erase that one. Let's try it again. I went over 1, 2. Okay, so that's 2 in the negative x direction. I went to the left there. So this is going to be a negative 2. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to go down 6 right there. I can draw that in for you. I went down that way. Alright, so that is down in the y direction. So there's my rule I'm going to follow. Now I go over here to the image that I already created, just like the last one. I've got A prime. Whoops, I didn't put my prime on there. Let's fix that. Alright, this should be A prime right there. Okay, let me switch back to blue. Okay, so I'm going to take each one of these points, and I'm going to go to the left 2 and down 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right there. That is going to be B double prime. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing with C. Over 2 to the left, and then down 6. There we go, right there. That's going to be C double prime. You can see these are going to get very messy because we're putting, multiple objects on the same coordinate plane. And last one here, over 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Down, and that is going to be A double prime. Alright, and I'm going to connect the dots, and it should look like the same angle, which it looks like it does. Alright, now I know it's pretty easy for me, to switch colors here and make it look a little less confusing, but it's really important for you guys to use your correct notation. Alright, and that is going to tell me that you really know what you're doing. So that is it for tonight. Hopefully that was easy for you. You can see where this note packet really is taking the last one a step further and just connecting these translations and reflections and rotations. Eventually we'll put them all together in a sequence, and just taking them and hooking them together. So just remember that word sequencing. Alright, it's at the top of the packet there. Sequencing simply means to put things together in a line, really. Okay, we're taking number 1, and that's mapping to an image, and then we're going to take number 2, and that's going to map to another image, and you could do as many as you want. You could then take A double prime, B double prime, C double prime, and do another translation, okay, off of that, and you'd go to A triple prime and B triple prime and C triple prime. Okay, so sequencing just means, you know, putting them in order, one after another. That's really all it is. So hopefully we will be successful with this. Alright, so thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.